Hi, good afternoon, everyone. I am Miss Beth, and I am here for the program that we like to call Read With Me. So, to tell you a little bit about our program, if you haven't done it before with us, is we share the first few chapters, or I share the first few chapters of a book with you, and then you can continue to read that on individually at home or with your family. But the best thing is, all of the books that we're reading this summer are available on one of the apps that you can access with your library card and PIN number. So you literally can take the book with you anywhere you go. I don't know about you, but since we've had all of our closures for the spring and we had to stay home, I got a lot of use out of my new iPad that I got for my birthday. So most of us have a tablet, a laptop, and iPad and an old iPod kicking around, something that we can read off of. And for those of you that don't, you can always go to our website or give us a call and put these items on hold and pick them up for curbside. And we do have some limited hours this week starting today. Hip, hip, hooray! When you can actually come into the building and see us. We would totally love that because we miss your little faces so much. But for today, I'm going to read you this book, and it is called A Boy Called Bat. So big shout out to the author, Elana Arnold, and also to the publishing house that's letting us read this to you and share this story with you. This is so hard to do. There we go. This is published by Walden Pond Press, which is actually a division of HarperCollins Kids. So if you're familiar with a lot of children's books, HarperCollins Kids is a big publisher out there. So it's really kind of them to let us do this. So we've read quite a few books already, lots of different things. Last week, so far, I think is maybe my favorite, Trapped in a Video Game. That was super fun to read and super fun to read out loud. I don't know if you've ever tried to read out loud to other people. It's not always fun if there are lots of voices or the dialogue's really tricky, but that one was so fun. I actually felt like I was in the video game. So I hope you're going to keep reading so you find out what happens. But if not, if that book wasn't for you, maybe A Boy Called Bat is. So let's get started. Chapter 1 is called After School. Bixby Alexander Tam stared into the refrigerator, trying to decide what to eat. He knew that the longer he took, the more energy he was wasting, and Bixby Alexander Tam did not like to waste energy. But he also didn't like to eat leftovers or cheese that had to be sliced or any of the yogurt flavors in the fridge. Bat, close the refrigerator door, yelled his sister Janie from the kitchen table, where she sat cutting out pictures from a pile of old magazines. Janie, he was sure, had eaten all the lemon and vanilla yogurts, and she knew he only liked the creamy ones, not the fruit on the bottom kind. Bat was what almost everyone called Bixby Alexander Tam for a couple of reasons. First, because the initials of his name, B, A, and T, spelled bat. But there were maybe other reasons. Bat's sensitive hearing, for one. He didn't like loud sounds. What was so unusual about that? And if Janie's old earmuffs happened to make an outstanding muffling device, was it that funny if he liked to wear them? There was also the way he sometimes flapped his hands when he was nervous or excited or thinking about something interesting like this. Some of the kids at school seemed to think that was hilarious. And of course, bats have wings, which they flap. So between the initials and the earmuffs and the hand flapping, the nickname had stuck. And truthfully, Bat didn't mind. Animals were his very favorite thing, better even than vanilla yogurt. Janie, did you eat all the vanillas? Not all of them, Janie answered. She curved the scissors around the bent arm of the boy she was cutting out. I saw you eat at least 2 or 3 of them. Did you eat the last vanilla? Yes, Janie said. With a final snip, she freed the shiny paper boy. It was delicious. Of course it was delicious. All the vanillas were delicious. Well, said Bat, closing the refrigerator door, a little harder than he needed to. Now there is nothing to eat. I wouldn't say there's nothing to eat, teased Janie. She knew she wasn't supposed to tease him. Well, I would, said Bat. Nothing I want to eat. Then you must not be very hungry. On Tuesdays and Thursdays, after Mom drove Bat home from school, she had to go back to work for a couple more hours. It was Janie's job to watch Bat. Thursdays were the hardest, and today was a Thursday. Make me a snack, Bat demanded. Make me a snack what? Make me a snack now. No, said Janie. Make me a snack, please. I don't have to say please, said Bat. Making me an after-school snack is part of your job. You don't have to say please to someone to do their job. You do if you want them to do it well, said Janie, but she pushed back the magazines and stood up. Bat felt his elbows beginning to bend. He felt his hands getting ready to flap. I'm hungry, he said again. His voice was getting higher. Okay, Janie said. Don't fly away. I'll fix you peanut butter and jelly. Without the crusts, Bat said. He felt better already. So what do you think it is about Bat that makes him hear really well and not like loud noises? They said he wears his sister's earmuffs, right? And he flaps his hands. What do you think that is? What do you think is the reason he does that? I can tell you what that's called when a person does things like that. It's called stimming. And stimming is a repetitive movement or sound. So repetitive means to repeat. So flapping your hands, or if someone makes a noise over and over again. Or have you ever seen somebody do this? Rocking back and forth when they're seated somewhere. Or have you seen someone do this? And if you want them to look at something, they only look at out of the corner of their eye. They won't actually look right at you. These are all things that are called stimming, and certain people stim. Do you know what kind of people stim? Let's find out. See if you can figure it out. Chapter 2 is called Bat's Cave. After finishing his snack, Bat went to his room. Bat's room was his favorite place in the whole world. In his room, Bat felt completely comfortable. Here, he knew where everything was. If something was in the wrong place, it was his own fault because no one messed with his room but him. In the rest of their small house, Bat's mom and sister knew to put anything that needed to go to Bat's room in one of 3 baskets. His clean laundry basket, his book basket, and his miscellaneous stuff basket. Miscellaneous was a great word and one of Bat's favorites. It meant all the extra stuff. So the miscellaneous stuff basket could have almost anything except clean laundry and books in it. When the baskets were full, Mom placed them in the hallway outside Bat's door. He took them into his room and unloaded them himself. Once, Mom had recognized his dresser drawers because what did I just say? Once, Mom had tried to organize his dresser drawers because she thought he could use some help. After, when he was so upset he couldn't even speak, she said, I'm sorry, Bat, but your drawers were just a mess. Your hats mixed in with pants and sweaters. I don't know how you find anything. But the drawers weren't a mess, not at all. If Mom had looked more closely, she would have seen that his knit caps were in with his long pants and sweaters because he always wore those things together on cold days. Shirts and t-shirts were in another drawer because he wore those things together on warm days. But what about this drawer? Mom had asked, pulling open the bottom right drawer, which held a pair of pants, a wool sweater, and 2 t-shirts. Those are things I never wear, Bat told her when he finally calmed down, because they're itchy and uncomfortable. Then Mom cut the tags out of the t-shirts and Bat moved them to his warm days drawer. After that, Mom left him to his own devices, as she liked to say. Once in his room, Bat closed the door. There was a sign on the outside that said, "Please knock." Janie had written it for him because her writing was much neater than his. Janie could do all the hand things better than Bat, write things, cut things out, smooth peanut butter on bread. The clock told Bat that Mom would be home in 46 minutes. Mom was a veterinarian, which was what Bat wanted to be too one day. Mostly she treated cats and dogs, but sometimes she had unusual patients. Once she had taken a BB pellet out of the wing of a hawk. The pellet had broken one of the bones and Mom had done surgery to mend it. She'd brought home the x-rays to show Bat. "Why would anyone shoot a hawk?" Bat had asked. "Do they think they're going to eat it?" "No," said Mom. "Sometimes people do stupid things." She had been very angry about the hawk, angrier even than when Bat and Janie got into loud screaming fights. Seeing the x-ray of the hawk's broken wing made Bat angry too. But his room always made him feel better. It had a roll-down bamboo window shade and a fine closet full of shelves and a pull-out trundle in case someday a friend came to spend the night. It had a ceiling fan and a reading lamp and a rug with a picture of a train track printed on it. Bat felt like looking through his animal encyclopedia, which he often did after school, so he pulled it down from the bookshelf and dropped comfortably onto his beanbag. His stomach was full of sandwich, and Mr. Grayson hadn't assigned any homework. For this moment, at least, Bat felt perfectly content. So, let's see. What did we learn about Bat in this chapter? So last chapter, we learned that Bat does something called stimming, right? We're not totally sure what that means, but I have a good guess. And this chapter, we find out he likes everything to be a certain way. So he likes a routine, right? And he likes to organize the way he likes to organize. And it makes sense to him, even if it doesn't to his mom. And let's see, what else? One other thing. Oh, he has a routine, right? The baskets, laundry, books, and miscellaneous stuff. And he's the only one that likes to put his things away. Now, there was something interesting in this chapter that was talked about the clothing and itchy tags. Do you guys ever have a tag that itches you? I know I do, and I cut those tags out too. But did you know that there are some kids that can't stand any tags? Not just kids, adults, old people like me, just hate the feel of tags and don't like to look people in the eye. And they have different things they do called stimming. And do you know what stimming actually is for? It's to help with anxiety. Do you know what this book is about yet? Do you know why Bat does these things? I'll give you a clue what I think. I think Bat is autistic or has autism because I have 2 nephews that have autism or are autistic. People like to say it in different ways, and that's just fine. But if you're a person living with autism, you do stimming and you like a routine and you don't like scratchy things. Sometimes not just not liking scratchy things, but liking the certain way something feels, super soft, super silky, super fuzzy. Those are all things that are quite often associated with Being on the spectrum is what they like to call it. Now, just because you like a soft blankie or like to lay on the rug or silky sheets or like your books on a shelf doesn't mean you're autistic or have autism. It just means you like things the way you like it. But kids and adults who do, these are all things that they do and live with every day. Do you think I'm right? I think I'm right. Let's see. Chapter 3 is called No Vanilla Yogurt. Boy, he's really upset about this yogurt thing, isn't he? Mom was supposed to be home by 5 o'clock, but 5 o'clock came and Mom did not arrive. By 5:15, Bat wanted to call the police. That's what we're supposed to do in case of emergency, he said to Janie. She was watching TV. This isn't an emergency, Bat. How do you know? It might be an emergency. You don't know for sure it isn't an emergency. Bat, call Mom's phone if you're so worried. Bat didn't want to call Mom's phone. What if she was driving and she answered when he called and then she crashed the car? I don't want to cause an emergency, he said. Excuse me. Drink break. If you had any friends to play with, Janie said, you could hang out with them on Tuesdays and Thursdays instead of being a pain in my neck. Bat thought this was unfair and also mean, considering he was so worried. But before he could say anything, he heard Mom's car turn into the driveway. A warm rush of relief flooded over him. He left Janie in front of the TV and ran outside. Mom, he said, you're late. Easy, Bat, Mom said, climbing out of the car. No need to be angry. Bat wasn't angry. Not really. He was relieved. But instead of explaining this, Bat asked, did you go to the grocery store and get more vanilla yogurt? I didn't have time, Mom said. That was the last straw. Mom was late and Bat was worried, and now no vanilla yogurt. Bat felt a ball of anger rising up in his chest, hot and hard and loud, wanting to escape through his mouth in a yell. His eyes squinted together and his hands drew up tight against the sides of his body. Mom put her hand on his shoulder and knelt down so she could look right into Bat's eyes. But Bat didn't want to look at her eyes. He didn't want her eyes looking at him. Calm down, Bat, Mom said in her soothing voice, the one she saved for when Bat was getting really upset. It's okay. I had a good reason for not going to the grocery store. If you can calm yourself down, I can tell you what it is. But Bat didn't care what Mom's reason was. She should have gone to the store. She knew how much he liked vanilla yogurt, and it was her job to buy it for him. Bat didn't have any money or a car. If Mom didn't buy him yogurt, there would be no yogurt. But then Mom said it was because of an animal, a baby animal. Ooh, a baby animal. What is better than an animal except a baby animal? What kind of animal? Do you remember what the book jacket looked like? Do you remember? It was called A Boy Called Bat. Let me show you. I'm going to show you, but I'm not going to show you the whole picture. And he's holding up something. Do you remember this? Oh, which way can I move my hand? What do you think he's holding? Should I show you? Oh, the suspense is killing me. I'm going to show you. What is that? It's a baby skunk. Oh my gosh, how cute. How cute is that? Have you ever seen a baby skunk up close? I haven't. Chapter 4, is it what kind of animal? Asked Bat. You'll see, Mom answered. You'll see, Mom answered. She walked around to the back of the station wagon and opened the door. Is it a puppy? Asked Bat. You'll see, answered Mom, taking out a cardboard box with air holes poked into the top. Is it a kitten? Bat asked as he followed her to the front door. You'll see, Mom answered. Is it a duckling? Bat asked as he bounced up and down, hands flapping excitedly. You'll see, Mom answered. Open the door for me, okay? Bat pushed open the front door. Is it a hoglet? Mom laughed. Where would I get a baby hedgehog? I don't know, Bat said. Then he had an awful thought. Is it a baby human? Mom walked into the living room. Janie, still watching the TV, called out, Hey, you're late. I know, Mom said to Janie. And then she said to Bat, Bat, honey, I wouldn't put a baby human in a cardboard box. And anyway, would a baby human be so bad? Yes, Bat said firmly. Well, it's not a baby human, said Mom. Now Janie was interested. She got up to have a closer look. What's in the box? She asked. Mom brought home a baby animal, Bat yelled in a rush, trying to be the one to tell Janie, and that way she'd know that he had known about it first. Geez, Bat, don't scream in my face. 12 inches, remember? Bat was supposed to stay at least 12 inches away from Janie when he talked to her. She didn't like it when he got too close. There were lots of rules when it came to Janie. How did you do on that math test? Mom asked Janie. Did the chart we made help? Bat bounced up and down on the balls of his feet, pulling the collar of his shirt into his mouth and sucking on the fabric. Now they were going to talk about a math test? Now? Mom, he groaned. Okay, she said. We can talk about math later. Come on, let's go into the kitchen. There is someone I want you to meet. All right. Here we go. Chapter 5. A tiny pink nose. Mom set the box on the kitchen table. Is it sleeping? Asked Bat in a whisper. Probably, Mom said. Babies sleep most of the time. What is it? Janie asked. Bat, do you want to open the lid? Bat didn't answer. He was too excited. Very carefully, he lifted the lid of the box and peered inside. Janie stood behind him, breathing on his ear. You're breathing on my ear, Bat said. Janie ignored him. It's just a bunch of rags, she said. Mom walked around to the far side of the round table and reached into the box. She scooped up the pile of material and sat down. Look. Can you see the picture? They're all looking now. Bat watched as Mom shifted the towel in her arms. A nose peeked out, a tiny pink nose, and then 2 slanted closed eyes, a forehead covered in downy fuzz, little ears curled tight against its head. Janie began. It's a kit, Bat said, enchanted by the tiny creature, wanting so badly to hold it. A baby skunk. Oh, Mom, Janie said, I can't believe you brought home a skunk. I had to, Mom said, rubbing the skunk's little forehead with her thumb. He's an orphan. Oh, breathed Janie. She leaned in closer, blocking Bat's view. How old is he? You're in my way, Bat said loudly, and he pushed Janie's arm to make room for himself. Bat, you need to stay calm around the skunk kit, okay? You don't want to scare him, Mom said. Bat did not want to scare the skunk kit. He wanted to hold the skunk kit, maybe even feed and care for the skunk kit. That's a hard thing to say, skunk kit. But his sister was standing in his way. Move, Janie, he hissed at her as quietly as he could hiss. Why don't you both sit down, Mom said. I'll tell you all about him. Janie plopped down into the chair on Mom's right, so Bat went around to the other side and sat in the chair on her left. He scooted the chair as close to Mom's as he could. The kit was still tucked into the towel, only his little face visible. Eyes closed, he opened his mouth in a yawn, his tiny pink tongue arching out. Mom said, Bat, do you remember when we smelled that skunk on the way to school this morning? Bat did remember. They had smelled it just after they pulled off their street, Plum Lane, and onto Anderson Road. Bat had smelled it, and Mom had smelled it too. He had craned his neck, looking out each window carefully. He'd seen lots of people on bicycles. They lived near a college, and the students mostly rode bikes to class. And he'd seen other cars and some people on foot. It was the beginning of spring, but it was still cold, so he had seen lots of hats and scarves. He'd seen an American flag on a flagpole in front of the post office. He'd seen a red bus. He'd seen a sign that read, Welcome to Quincy, a bike-friendly town. But he had not seen a skunk. Bat nodded. I remember, he said. Well, unfortunately, the skunk we smelled but didn't see was the mama skunk. A car hit her, and a couple of college students brought her to my office in the basket of a bike. She was there waiting for me after I dropped you off at school, injured and very pregnant. Is she okay? Janie asked. I wish I could say she is, Mom answered. I wasn't able to save the mother or the other baby kids. Only this one lived. I was able to check the mother for diseases, though, and luckily she wasn't sick, which is a good sign. The kit isn't sick either. That's awesome, Bat said. Bat, said Janie, loud and sharp. The kit twitched and shifted, scared by Janie's voice. How can you say it's awesome? The mom died. The other babies died. Bat didn't mean that it was awesome that the other skunks had died. Of course that wasn't awesome. He'd meant that it was awesome that this kit had lived. But it wasn't worth trying to explain to Janie what he'd meant. She usually misunderstood Bat. Most everyone did. Can I? Bat reached out for the kit, wanting so badly to hold him that his fingers twitched. We can't keep him, Mom warned. There's a wild animal rescue center that we can give him to in about a month, but they're too busy to take him just yet. So we can help him get bigger and stronger before we hand him over to the experts. They'll raise him until he's ready to be released into the wild when he's about 5 months old. Then she passed the tiny kit, wrapped in towels, into Bat's arms. The kit was so small that Bat couldn't even tell he was in the towel except for the tiny little face that peeked out. He cradled the bundle in his arms. He felt his face stretch into a wide smile, so wide it made his cheeks hurt. Aw, it sounds like Bat really likes the skunk kit, doesn't it? I bet they're so cute when they're newborn. All that little pink skin and the pink nose and the tiny little ears tucked in. Have you ever gotten to see a wild animal like that? I've been to the zoo, but I don't think I've seen a little animal like that ever. I did once see some bunnies in our backyard, but I didn't get to get up close to them and hold them. So this would be a different kind of thing completely. And that's all our time for today. So I hope that you've enjoyed this little excerpt from A Boy Called Bat. It is, in fact, about a boy who is autistic or has autism. I don't want to offend anyone. I did research. I saw both terms listed, so not trying to offend anyone, but just trying to be inclusive. And I think it's important for all of our little friends out there to realize sometimes people have mannerisms or traits or habits or quirks or whatever that don't make sense to us. So next time you see somebody making a noise repetitively or shaking their hands or rubbing their forehead. I have a little guy that comes to story time that does this. Or just having a bad time with things, won't make eye contact, whatever it is, just realize that they might be a little different from you, but inside they like a lot of the same things you do, right? Bat does. So maybe we have a lot more in common than we think. So thanks for sharing this afternoon with me. I hope you've had a great day. I hope you get out. It looks like it's going to rain a little bit, but maybe not. So I hope you get out and have a good afternoon and evening. And I just want to say again, I miss you all so, so much. And I hope that we can get together really soon. But in the meantime, watch us. We're everywhere. We're on Facebook. We're on YouTube. We're on the Willard Library page. And we've got tons of stuff coming up this week. Miss Stephanie Boyd, who knows where she's going to be tomorrow? She's got a surprise story time. Wednesday, we have afternoons with Miss Nikki and Miss Alicia. Thursday, we have baby time in the morning with me. Mindfulness with Miss Courtney. Bedtime story with Miss Angela. So we've got a full week. And then it's 4th of July. So happy 4th of July. Happy Monday. Happy Read with Miss Beth. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.